A man accused of swindling an Alzheimer's victim out of nearly $500,000 is now finding himself in a Georgia jail. But here's the twist. The suspect is 82 years old.
Yeah, the Fox 5 I-Team first began investigating Jerry Hoffman way back in 2007. Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis returns now with new developments involving this grumpy old con man. Randy?
Yeah, crazy story, Russ and Sine. Hoffman served time in prison years ago for running a fake mortgage scheme. He's known to leave vulgar, rambling voicemail messages for people who challenge him and is sometimes armed with his umbrella. But not this time.
Mr. Hoffman, you've been charged with theft by taking.
The man who bragged he'd soon be making 5 times more money than Wal-Mart is now residing in the less than luxurious conditions of the Fulton County Jail. Jerry Hoffman will finally face charges. He stole nearly $500,000 in 2012 from a woman suffering from Alzheimer's.
We're looking forward to seeing him and bringing him to justice for what he's done for our victim.
We first met Hoffman in 2007 when employees complained to us and authorities that he tricked them into working for free. Hoffman boasted he had plans to open up one-stop grocery stores called Boxcar stores by retrofitting abandoned retail sites across the country. He never opened a single store. Meanwhile, Hoffman moved into the Sandy Springs home with Jane Grant, a woman eventually diagnosed with Alzheimer's. ERIK LEAVELL told us and police back in 2012 that he found evidence Hoffman was forging Ms. Grant's name on checks worth more than $400,000.
Mr. Hoffman was exploiting someone with Alzheimer's so he could bankroll a business and bankroll a purpose for himself. He was stealing from someone who had no ability to defend herself.
Defending oneself is important around Mr. Hoffman. Here's what happened that day in 2012 when the Fox 5 I-Team tried to ask questions.
Mr. Hoffman, are you taking advantage of that woman?
What?
Are you taking advantage of that woman at Alzheimer's?
No,
hey,
no.
Don't hit the camera, sir.
Get away from me,
Don't hit the camera. Do not hit the camera. Okay, please stop hitting our photographer, Mr. Hoffman.
Shortly after that encounter, Jane Grant's children took full control of her finances and reclaimed her car that Jerry Hoffman was driving. Inside her car, that abused umbrella, which they wanted us to have. But it still took 4 more years to build a case against Hoffman and extradite him back to Georgia.
What took place is one of the greatest shams possible in America today.
During Hoffman's bond hearing, Jane Grant's son Jim leaned against the glass to hear the 82-year-old suspected thief complain about the charges he faces.
This is one great sham, and the district attorney knows it.
It's the typical attitude. It was the same thing he did in court as what he did in every court case.
I will agree to stay here in the city, and if I can organize my legal team and have bail.
He's got the gift of gab, basically, that, you know, he can make anybody pretty much believe anything.
Not everybody.
Because of the nature of the charge, the amount in controversy, and the fact that you do not have any ties to this community, I'm not going to set a bond at this point.
Normally you hear about, you know, children or younger people taking advantage of the elderly. However, in this case, he's relatively the same age as our victim. The only difference in this case is our victim has a diminished mental capacity, and he was able to take advantage of that.
Hoffman will be back in court February 19th. In the meantime, he remains in the Fulton County Jail.
Well, okay. Now, is there any chance the Grants might get their $400,000 back?
They've kind of given up on that. They're hoping, but
yeah.
they don't know if he's still got the money, if he stashed it away somewhere, or if they can ever get it back, assuming that he is convicted of these charges. But they at least are happy that he is back in Georgia and behind bars, hopefully until the trial, they say.
Yeah, it would be nice to see them made whole, but it seems that you were made whole with the umbrella that was used against you at one point.
You might see that on a rainy live shot one night in the future.
They obviously appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Randy.